fans, and welcome to NFL UK Ops, American Football, British Accents. My name is Tom, and we have a fantastic show for you today. We have this, we have this, we have this, we do not have that, we have this, and we have this. More on how you can get your hands on this later in the show. So let's get to it with the NFL Weekly Roundup. Whoa, before we go any further, make sure you hit that like button like Henry and spike that subscribe button like Gronkowski. So this week in the NFL has been cuts week. No, not those types of cut. Don't worry, Trevor Lawrence has not had a buzz cut. Can we sort it out, please? Thank you, that's much better. So by 4 p.m. Eastern Time on Tuesday, all 32 teams had to cut down their roster to 53 men. This meant that nearly 700 players were given the bad news that they were out of a job. Some may never play football ever again. Some notable cuts include running back Sony Michel of Miami Dolphins, recently picked up by the LA Chargers, quarterback Kellen Mond of the Minnesota Vikings, recently picked up by the Browns, and also Ian Book of the Saints, recently picked up by the Philadelphia Eagles. Not everyone was so lucky. A spare thought for poor Alex Leatherwood, who was cut by the Raiders this week. Andy, it's Leatherwood, not Leatherface. The team were actively seeking a trade for the former first-round offensive lineman. Ian Rappaport released this tweet on Tuesday. They tried to trade him to everyone, got 32 no's. 32 no's? That's 8 times worse than being terrible on Britain's Got Talent. This is what 32 no's sounds like. Unfortunately, we weren't contacted about acquiring Alex in a trade. We would have certainly been open to negotiation. Alex has since been picked up by the Chicago Bears, and we wish him well in his new home. But if it doesn't work out, Alex, we'll always have a place on the show for you, so just give us a call. Let us know in the comments down below what you would have traded for Alex Leatherwood. In other news, the 49ers decided to restructure Jimmy G's contract to keep him in San Francisco for another year and be the team's QB2. Now, we did try and think of a number 2 joke. However, Jimmy G has always come across like such a lovely lad, we just couldn't do it. A lot of 49ers fans see this as a win-win situation. They see security for the team. They see Jimmy Garoppolo providing leadership and support for Trey Lance. However, what if Trey Lance does have a shaky start and the team are struggling? Does that put extra pressure on the team, on Shanahan, on Trey Lance, when the fans in the stands are calling Jimmy G's name? Jimmy G has always provided good quality play at the quarterback position when he's healthy. Trey Lance has got all the skill set. He's only 22. It's a similar situation to what happened last year in New England with Cam Newton and Mac Jones. The Patriots decided to cut Cam. The 49ers have gone about it in a different way. It's going to be very interesting in the early part of the season to see how this all plays out. Let us know down in the comments if you think this was the right decision. And finally, Russell Wilson and the Broncos have agreed to terms on a 5-year deal worth $245 million. Let us know in the comments if you think that he's worth it. And from NFL UK Ops, just one thing to say. Broncos country, let's ride. Let's ride. Let's ride. And just to let you know that this episode is brought to you in partnership with UK American Sports Store. For all your US sports merchandise, visit ukAmericansportsstore.co.uk. All merchandise comes straight from the US, which means it's top quality. To enter our competition to win an NFL cap of your choice, just click the link in the description below. And now the moment you've all been waiting for. We're delighted to be joined by Dolphins Fan of the Year 2020, Ian Big E Berger. Ian, a Miami Dolphins superfan, does a tremendous amount for the Dolphins fan base and also podcasts every Wednesday on dolphinstalk.com. If you haven't already, make sure you check that out. And also follow Ian on Twitter. His handle is at Ian693. How are you, and how are you feeling after last night's preseason win over the Raiders, which was also coupled with the very sad news of the passing of Jason Jenkins?
Well, first of all, Tom, thank you so much for the invitation. I'm very honored to be part of your podcast. So I can't thank you enough for having me on. But yeah, so last night, obviously the Dolphins really, it was the most impressive victory that we've seen as Miami Dolphins fans in a very long time. But with about 2 minutes to go to halftime, the news came on the jumbotrons in the stadium, and I know it was talked about through the local media about the loss of Jason Jenkins. And a lot of people don't really know who he is. You know, they see him, they see a picture of him. But I had the honor and privilege of partnering with him, getting to know him. And really, a lot of the Miami Dolphins fan sites became heavily involved in the Miami Dolphins, a lot due to Jason Jenkins' credit. You know, many years ago, when he joined the team, one of the things he wanted to do was make sure that Dolphins fan sites got some opportunities and were involved with the team. So, like during training camps, he organized the ability for Dolphins fan sites to have a day to come to interview players, to act like they were real media. You know, sometimes fan sites, we feel like we want to be real media sometimes. And he really gave us the opportunity. But on top of that, every day, every night, Jason was with a different nonprofit organization, and he was either, you know, giving a speech about how important that organization is to the community, or he was, you know, providing them with things from the Miami Dolphins on behalf of the Miami Dolphins. So I can't really say enough great things about the man, because he was, when you talk about pillars in the community, Jason Jenkins was that pillar in the community, and he is going to be sorely missed. And also knowing that I'm the same age as him, you know, and he has a young family, and you know everything that goes along with it. Not to mention the impact that he has to the Miami Dolphins organization. You know, he is going to be sorely missed. And I'm shocked, I'm saddened, and I just continue to send my thoughts and prayers to his family, to the organization, to everyone that has been touched by him, because he really had an impact on me, as I know he's had an impact on so many other people. Yeah, you know, just when when I first wanted to find some opportunities to get involved with nonprofits with the Miami Dolphins, you know, I reached out to Jason, and you know, he is very accessible via social media, via Twitter, and I sent him messages and I said, "Hey, you know, how do I get involved?" And he pointed me in the right direction, and I got an opportunity to pack some meals for homeless individuals. And again, that's something that he put together, that was something that he organized. And you know, on top of that, I had somebody come to me and say, "Hey, how do I get the Miami Dolphins involved in what I'm doing with my nonprofit?" Sent him to Jason. Jason contacted him right away, and really got him in the right direction. So, you know, those were the things. Plus, you saw him everywhere. You know, if you went to training camp, Jason was there at every training camp. If you ever went to Miami Dolphins games, either home or away, he was there. And if he would see me, he'd come over, give me a big hug, and say, "Big E," you know. And I think he made you always feel like you were the most important person, that he was seeing that day. And it didn't matter what your interaction was with him. That was how he went about himself. And I think that's why I think that's why he had such an impact on so many different people, because he was just that way. I I was blessed by this whole experience of NFL Fan of the Year. And you know, take you back almost, was it about 2 years ago, I guess it was. We were all in the heart of the pandemic, and no one could leave their homes, and you know, we didn't know if there was going to be any sort of football. And I was working from home and did a lot of trying to engage Miami Dolphins fans, to get engaged with other Miami Dolphins fans. And I think I think that worked, because I think a lot of fans, and regardless of where you were from, right? If you could have been from the United States, you could have been from UK, from Spain, from Brazil, wherever you were. you wanted to engage with other people. And we were all basically sitting behind a computer or behind our phones, sitting at home, and I really excelled in trying to bring the fan base together. And on top of that, I was working in a role that was very community development oriented, so I was volunteering a lot. I was teaching, low and moderate income families about how to budget and how to take care of their finances, on top of all the things that I've done for many, many years, which has been, like I mentioned, making food packs for homeless individuals, and, going out and helping build homes for Habitat for Humanity. So I think when you put all that together, the NFL had put out this program called the Fan of the Year program, and they were looking for nominations. And a lot of folks from social media said, Big E is the guy that we want to nominate. And again, I was extremely humbled by the fact that they even nominated me. But through the nominations, the Miami Dolphins organization selected one person out of all the nominations that they got. And I think Jason Jenkins actually was very instrumental in that process, and had been very instrumental in who that selection was going to be. And they selected me. And so I went through that process, had a chance to Zoom with Roger Goodell, had a chance to Zoom with the Hall of Famer Chris Carter, some other people. Again, this was the heart of the pandemic. They were trying to figure out how to take care of these the fans of the year, because there were 32 of them for every single team within the National Football League. And then come January of last year, 2021, I got an ask to go down to Hard Rock Stadium, because they wanted to. They said that they wanted to video a marketing campaign for Fan of the Year for the Miami Dolphins, and they had me come down there, and then they surprised me to let me know that I made it to the top 3 of the NFL's Fan of the Year, and that I had won a trip to the Super Bowl. So that was, to say I through this whole process, I got extremely emotional, tears, because I consider myself just another fan. Yes, I think I have a great reach. I think I do have a positive influence on our fan base. But I do know that there are fans out there that have a ton more, memorabilia than I do. I know fans, there's a couple fans out there that go to every single Miami Dolphins game, home games, away games, and I respect that. And I love the fact that we have such passionate fans. So I was honored and blessed to do this and to get to that level. So, unfortunately I didn't win the actual NFL Fan of the Year, but I felt like I was a winner, going through that experience. And then the last thing they had me do was they had me go to Cleveland, and I announced the 244th pick for the 2020, I think it was a 2021 NFL draft. So pick number 244 was Jared Dokes. And I was, again, it was an experience. I've never experienced that in my life. I don't think I will ever have that opportunity to do that again. But this was amazing. And I don't plan on going to another Super Bowl unless the Dolphins make it. That's the next one for me. It's so, but that's the Fan of the Year. That's how it works. And then last year, a great friend of mine, Mark Angelo, from California, he won it. And this year, the nominations are open right now, as a matter of fact, for any big fans, and they could be from anywhere, obviously, because Mark is from California and I'm from South Florida. So any fans can be eligible for this experience.
And don't forget to stay tuned for a chance to win this Miami Dolphins mini helmet. And now a few words from Andy, aka Mr. Irrelevant.
So the Pats have had an absolute nightmare pre-season. First of all, getting pipped by the Giants, then it all kicked off at the Panthers, and then they got absolutely spanked by the Raiders. It just doesn't seem fair to me that the Raiders have got Josh McDaniels. It's like playing hide and seek with somebody who knows all your best hiding places, or playing Street Fighter with somebody who knows you're always Guile, and the only special move you know is that sonic boom thing he does. That's me, by the way. I'm just saying, Josh knows every trick in the book because he wrote the book with Belichick. I bet Bill's had a nightmare summer trying to think of something new that he hasn't used in the past 10 years. It just seems a bit harsh, that's all. While we're at it, does anybody else think that Josh McDaniels looks like Captain America? Actually, no. That guy who used to be in CSI, who's in MacGyver now, he definitely looks like him. Talking of looky-likeys, do you think that Mike Tomlin from the Steelers Looks like that guy at House, Omar Epps, I think he's called. Tom reckons he looks more like Will.i.am. The most important lookalike is Benedict Cumberbatch, Doctor Strange bloke. Looks amazingly like Tom Wilson. And for those of you who weren't paying attention, he's the host of this show. Anyway, if you've got any NFL lookalikes, chuck them in the comments, and the best ones will get a shout out. I'm not an expert like Tom is, so let me know in the comments what you think. But be nice, I don't have to come off social media for my mental health. Say something funny and I'll give you a shout out. Which reminds me, thanks to Erin in Barnsley who liked our video even though she hates American football. Cheers. Back to Troy Aikman.
Yeah, thanks for that, Andy. Anyway, now we're going back to Big E to find out what his thoughts and feelings are on new head coach Mike McDaniel and whether this is Tua's defining season.
He has been the breath of fresh air that our team needs. You know, he comes with a different point of view. He comes from an angle of positivity versus coming from an angle of discipline, what it felt like from Flores. And also, you know, coming from a different angle from Gase, who, you know, again, I couldn't put my finger on what Adam Gase was, but he obviously wasn't what we needed. He obviously wasn't what the New York Jets needed as well. But I think everything's been great. I love the confidence that he shows each player, you know, especially the confidence that he shares with Tua, you know, and he's been very vocal about that. But I think he shares that with the rest of the team. You know, you hear Tyreek talking about it too, you know, and there's that positivity there. And, you know, there's a book out there. It's called Strengths Finders, where, you know, someone can focus on someone's strengths and build on those strengths, or someone can focus on somebody's weaknesses and try and build on those weaknesses. But you tend to have more success if you focus on someone's strengths versus trying to improve their weaknesses. And I think that's the cloth that Coach McDaniel is drawn from, because it seems like that's what he's doing. Honestly, I think it's a little bit of both. I think there is some belief to it. I think that there are some statistics out there that show that Tua has been extremely accurate when he has the opportunities. But I also think it doesn't hurt for him to, you know, to again build some confidence within Tua, because I think you build that confidence with someone instead of always tearing them down. I think when they get a step on the field, they're going to be like, I can do this, I could do this, I can do this. And you know what? When you make a mistake, it's okay. Let's learn from that mistake and move on to the next play. And I think that's the person that we're going to see. And, you know, this year with the type of weapons that we have around Tua, I think it's going to mean some positive things for this team, for this organization. And I think the excitement around town is the highest level of excitement I can remember for the organization since back maybe from the Marino days, maybe, but that's it. I will tell you, I'm not going to be super to a stan, as everybody likes to say on social media, that like he can do no wrong, but I'm also not one of those people who will hate on him and kind of focus on every negative thing that he does. I've always said that I'm loyal to the logo, and ultimately at the end of the day, I want our team to win. I want our team to make it to the playoffs. With that said, I don't think Tua has had the opportunity to really show us what he has had over the last 2 seasons. His first season, he was coming off the injury. You know, he probably should have sat that whole season and let Ryan Fitzpatrick run with it and see what we could do with Ryan Fitzpatrick. But they chose to put him in. Fine. That's what they did. Last year, you know, his weapons, he really didn't have a lot of weapons. He had the 32nd ranked offensive line from a pass rush perspective, you know, so and also the running backs were basically non-existent for much of the season. So what have the Dolphins done? They've said, okay, we're going to give you the weapons. We're going to give you a Tyreek Hill. We're going to give you a Raheem Morris, right? We're going to give you, or Mostert, excuse me. I always make that mistake. Raheem Mostert. And we're going to give you, you know, Chase Edmonds, right? And we're going to give you Teron Armstead to help you on the offensive line and another Cedric Wilson. So I think we're going to see the best Tua that we have ever seen in the National Football League. Now, does that mean that he's going to have 50 touchdowns? Does that mean, he's going to be an MVP candidate? I don't think so, but I hope so, right? And I don't know what his ceiling is going to be, but I think we're going to find out within this season. And to answer your question, can he take us to the playoffs? Absolutely. I think you put him with this team, with the weapons that he has, I think he can take us to the playoffs. But is he going to be the person that, he's going to be the sole reason that the team gets to the playoffs? No, I think it's because, we've supported him, and we've he throws that 10 or 15 yard pass to Tyreek Hill, and Tyreek, you've seen him. He'll run it 60 yards. He'll run it 70 yards. He will outrun those defenders. Teron Armstead, is going to be that guy that helps Tua along the way. This defense, which I think will be a top 5 or top 10 defense in the National Football League, they're going to help this team get to the playoffs. So I know some people are like, all the pressure is on Tua for him to get the Dolphins. No, it's not. The whole pressure is on the entire team. If everybody's doing their job that they're supposed to be doing, this team should easily be a 12-win team by the end of the year. This is a topic of conversation that I'm seeing a lot through national media, through Dolphins fans. Maybe Tua's best season is only an incremental increase over what he did last year, right? But if the Dolphins still make it to the playoffs, doesn't matter, right? That's the question. Now, the Dolphins have put a lot of money into this year with the team, and if they decide at the end of the year, well, maybe we're just a quarterback away, could they make that move? Sure. And again, too, I would be supportive of them trying to improve the team if that's where they feel that they need to improve the team. And that's where I say I'm not a Tua stan, right? Because I think some people would say, you stick with Tua, it doesn't matter. Now, here's the other piece to that is Tua's salary compared to what a top 5, top 10 quarterback salary is going to look like is not very much. So it allows you to be able to purchase these other, not purchase, but acquire these other free agent players. And maybe they say, hey, listen, you improved a little bit this year. We want to see you again improve next year. And that way we can keep the salary the way that it is. Personally, I think he's going to do great this year. I think next season, I do not see them having to go after a quarterback. With them taking that other first round pick away from the Dolphins, there was some talk about, well, now Tua's really got to do well. I think he's going to do well anyway. If last night was any indication of what this team could do if we had our full staff, full offensive players on the field, I think really the sky's the limit. And I think we're going to surprise a lot of people.
In honour of having Big E on the show, we're running a competition over the next 2 weeks to win this Miami Dolphins mini helmet. To enter, all you need to do is type Finsup in the comments below. The competition is free to enter, you must be over the age of 18, and it's not run in affiliation with YouTube. Join us on Thursday for our prediction show, where you'll find out who we're backing to make the playoffs and win the Super Bowl. You'll also find out which teams Big E thinks will do well this season. And don't forget, hit it like Henry, spike it like Gronk, and remember, let's ride!